So as we enter the week where all the political parties are announcing their manifestos, I thought, what would I do if I was Education Secretary? And I'll give you a rundown right now. I also want to make it clear that I understand some of this would not be able to happen because of the finances and the economic situation we find ourselves in as a country. But let's imagine there's a world where the government decided to put money into the public services rather than give contracts to the mates. This is what I would do. First of all, I'm bringing back Sure Start Centres. I think they are crucial. I've made videos before about the impact that has come out, the research that's been done on the impact it's had on children who live near Sure Start Centres. I think a lot of blame is put on parents for some of the issues we're facing. I think 99.9% of parents want to do their absolute best. Some just don't know how to, and there is currently nothing out there for parents of newborn children to school ready age that can help support and give them advice, give them classes to help them be school ready. So by having them back, I also think they would be able to run courses on making parents aware of the dangers of smartphones or giving tech too early to your students. So that would be my first thing. And then putting a price cap on what holiday companies can charge during the holidays compared to term time. That would hopefully then sort the attendance issue out. I should have also said I'm counting these down in terms of importance. But anyway, next one is curriculum. Now this, for me, there's a happy medium. I think in England we're too one way. In Scotland and Wales, they're too far the other way. So I'd like to get a curriculum that is sort of in the middle here. I think at primary in England, we need to condense it's far too broad, too busy. The pressure we are under to try and fit everything in is a nightmare. So I definitely scale it back to make sure we can cover enough in depth rather than just skimming the surface with too much. I would then make sure that all the social media companies ban it for under 16s. We know as teachers how many issues we have from students who are underage using these platforms. That can be sorted by just making the platforms ensure that they ban it for under 16s. That would make every teacher's life a lot easier. In terms of pay, one, I would make sure teachers' pay is in line with inflation and catch up with the real term cuts we've had for a number of years. But I'd also significantly improve the pay for support staff and also make sure that their pay is spread across the year, similar to a teacher's. Next, for the SEND reform, I would be building so much more specialist provision as far as specialist schools, specialist units within schools. Within that, you would then have so many more trained specialists. Just going back to the Sure Start Centres, one thing that came from the recent research about those is that Sure Start Centres were able to start picking up on diagnosing particular SEND needs in toddlers and youngsters before they get to school. So that would also help with this. To solve the recruitment and retention crisis, I would make sure every teacher had a full day PPA each week and they wouldn't have to be in school for that. Obviously, there would be more bodies in schools to cover and make that happen. But I think the issue as far as recruiting teachers is every other job has that flexibility, that hybrid way of working. I think if we can bring that into our education system and give teachers more time, but it be flexible as to where you take that time, it would probably improve the retention. Next up, we're going to have a massive reform of Ofsted, and we need an independent regulation body. At no point have I ever said that we don't need accountability. We do. I don't know if Ofsted offer that at the minute, so I'd make sure that'd happen. Obviously, we're binning off the one-word gradings. That's a no-brainer. Everyone knows that should happen because they're so toxic, apart from the government, because they like to roll out the line that 90% of schools have got are outstanding, even though they've changed the goalposts so many times to make that happen. For me, Ofsted's main goal should be around safeguarding and coming into schools, making sure that children are safe and doing that fairly and accurately. But all the other stuff around, curriculum and results, I don't think Ofsted need to be the ones focused on that. I think that can be done within families of schools and done locally. For me, Ofsted's main focus should be on the well-being of teachers. Now, they say they do that at the minute, but they don't when they're the main reason why well-being's so dreadful, because they've increased workload exponentially. They should be coming in and looking at what teachers are expected to do and asking questions. Why are you doing that? Is that having an impact? And if it's not having an impact, stop doing it and sort of base it more on the retention of teachers. If you're going into a school and they've got a ridiculously high turnover of staff, red flag, they should be picking up on that. Any school that are spending school budget on things like Mocksteads, that's another red flag. So it's moving the goalpost to focus on using Ofsted to retain teachers, because if you've got happy teachers, you're going to have happy pupils. And the most important thing is obviously the funding, and all of those issues are all based on that none of this can happen without that, and we all know how important that is. So having the investment in schools is not only going to benefit the children, obviously it will keep more teachers in the profession, but you are also then going to see benefits as those children grow up and become positive citizens within our society and communities. So that's obviously no brainer, going to be the number one issue.